Are you looking to study in a university that has a dynamic community of teachers, leaders, and scholars in education who are committed in creating a vibrant, socially just, and democratic society? Well, look no further. The Faculty of Education plays an important role in the further development of practicing teachers with a variety of programs that are meant to build, equip, and upgrade the qualifications of underqualified educators. So, what are you waiting for? Be the teacher that you've always wanted to be and dare to teach.
Good evening. It is my singular pleasure to welcome you all to the virtual open day of the Faculty of Education at Nelson Mandela University. My name is Dr. Muki Mueng, and I'm the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Education. In our faculty, we have the Deputy Dean, Dr. Tulsi Mora, the HOD for the Secondary School Education, Dr. Heloise Satora, the HOD for Intermediate Phase Primary Schooling, Dr. Tobeka Mapasa, the Acting HOD for Foundation Phase Primary Schooling, Ms. Thandi Hlam, the HOD for Post-Schooling, Ms. Helena Westhuizen, and Professor Shivani Pillay, who is the HOD for Postgraduate Studies. We offer teacher education undergraduate as well as postgraduate programs up to PhD level. All our programs are approved by DHET, accredited by the CHE, and registered with SAQA. Our mission is to develop and prepare teachers who are knowledgeable about their subject specialization, are committed to teaching, and dedicated to care and nurture young minds. Moreover, we prepare teachers to take their place in society by being agents of hope, change, and social justice. We understand the important role that is played by education, and we believe that teachers have an important role to play in building the nation and developing the youth for a better South Africa. In this open day session, you'll be able to engage with our entire faculty digitally. You will also be exposed to the academic programs that we offer. We take seriously our responsibility to provide academic support to our students so that they are successful in their studies. We will therefore share with you some of our academic development programs that we offer in the faculty. We will also show you our facilities that support learning and teaching, research, and engagement so that you get a sense of what our faculty has to offer. You will also meet some of our students and alumni who will be sharing their experiences about what we offer in the faculty. We hope that at the end of our virtual faculty open day, you as a prospective student, a parent or guardian, would have acquired the information and insight you need in order to make an informed decision about your future study direction or that of your child. We thus encourage parents, teachers, community members, and interested stakeholders to take hands with us in playing an active role in helping learners achieve their full potential. But most importantly, we hope that the Faculty of Education at Nelson Mandela University will be your study destination in the near future. Please enjoy our Faculty of Education Open Day. Change the world. Thank you.
The Resource Center is an educationally focused library established to serve over 1,500 Nelson Mandela University education students, providing a learning space in which students have access to resources and a variety of educational literature. The Postgraduate Commons facilities are dedicated to all postgraduate students with programs to challenge their classroom practices, assisting them to investigate broad education issues relating to curricula, education policies, and pedagogy. The Executive Dean of the Faculty of Education, Dr. Muki Mueng, had a couch conversation with current students and alumni about their educational experiences.
Good day. I'm sitting here with my students, really excited about the conversation that we're about to have. But before we start our conversation, I would just like to know a little more about yourselves. If you can introduce yourself, who you are and where you're from.
Okay, my name is Caroline Boshoff and I'm born and bred here in Port Elizabeth.
Okay, thanks, Caroline. And you?
I'm Sibongiseni Pokwana from Kwapatikala village. It's in Amatole West district. Second year B.Ed student, foundation phase.
All right. So what attracted you to do foundation phase?
The reason why I chose this phase is because, I guess it's because maybe I love children.
Your reasons for foundation phase?
Well, my journey started a long time ago. I have a disability called dyslexia, and then people look at me. You want to teach my child to read and write if you can't read and write. So I would say that my foundation phase teachers were very important because they did the foundation and they really had to teach me different ways how to cope with my disability. And then I started doing Science Expo and I was like, what am I going to do? And then I said, hey, but I want to be a teacher. Let's see and test the waters. And then I looked at all the phases and the phase that really stuck to me was foundation phase.
Now let's come to your other experience then with the foundation phase itself. You're now in your second year. Have you been to schools? And if so, how has that experience been? Yes, you can see children in the street, but in the classroom for the first time, how has that experience been?
Well, that was very nice. I went to a school in Motherwell and my eyes really opened and I saw that there's really a need and that students love you. They come to you like, teacher, come help me with this. So what we learn in the textbooks is, yes, we learn, but we don't learn and we don't see all the factors that plays in a child's life. You must always understand that children, they're not empty vessel. They come, they have communities, they have families, they have problems. And you as a teacher must very look at the child and say, okay, what is the influencing this child at the moment? You can't just say, he's very naughty, he's not doing his homework, if you don't know what's going on at home.
It is very nice for me. The classroom, I enjoyed so much. The children are so loving. They always want your attention, and it makes me feel, I feel good to see them happy, to see them comfortable around me in their classroom, the foundation phase classroom, you know. Mr. Pokwana, if I'm not there, and maybe I didn't come, since the weeks that we didn't go, when I came back, that's where I realized, hey, these people love me. Some of them, I would even meet them at Spa. They would leave their mothers there and then come and greet me. Even if I don't see that, they come to me. Teacher. So they recognize, they know me, hey, teacher. And I appreciate that so much. I mean, children are the best. Children, they just naturally have love. That's what I enjoy the most about it.
Hi, Doc. I am Osipose Tupoti. I'm a second year student returning to the university for a second qualification. I am born and bred in PE. I'm a mom, and yeah.
All right, welcome.
Thank you.
My name is Lauren Grootboom and I am originally from Tsitsikamma, Storms River area to be precise.
Okay, oh, welcome. Welcome to Port Elizabeth, Gqeberha as well. Let's go to you, Sisipo. You're saying you have your first qualification. If I may just ask, if this is your second qualification, what did you study before?
I studied marketing.
Okay.
I studied marketing with the university. I graduated in 2013, but as all of my fellow students have said, what is meant to be yours will always find you. So my passion led me back to where I want to, or where I need to be.
And that is?
Education.
In what phase?
Foundation phase.
This is my first year and I am also studying foundation phase.
Now, I'm interested, Lauren, to hear from you with regard to your first year experience, having COVID, you know, not being on campus. Are you on campus some of the time or full time?
Yeah, I actually have a group of friends. Every Wednesday or Tuesday, we will go to Missionville campus and then just meet up there, mingle, get to know each other, talk about stuff, do group assignments, and so forth. But online class has been okay. It was a huge adjustment for me, seeing that I matriculated in 2020 and then now here I have to start with online classes. It was a big step up for me.
All right. And second year, how has your experience been now? You're doing your second year. Have you been to school?
I was fortunate that, yes, with the school-based learning, I've been to a public school. I'm at a private school currently. In my heart, at my core, I think I'm called to be in public schools. I was fortunate enough to study in private schools all of my life. And the reason why I came to education and studied education was because I wanted to right all the wrongs that I saw in my own society that I grew up in. Because the children I grew up with did not have the opportunities or were fortunate enough to have parents that could afford the opportunities that I had. So seeing the challenges that they have, the challenges that the teachers have, my heart is in public schools for foundation phase.
All right. Lauren, you are so young, and your decision to become a foundation phase teacher, where does that come from?
Well, I love children. Let's start there. I really love children. And my reason being why I want to study foundation phase teaching is because I want to be part of the group of people, part of the system that lays the foundation needed in the young lives of our children to let them realize their dreams and their strong beliefs and prepare them for what lies ahead.
That's so wonderful to hear, especially from me as a dean. I'm excited to hear that. And now, Sisipo, your experience this year, so last year you were still, it was COVID, online, and this year is still online. How are you finding that experience?
I think I'm at an advantage because I've experienced university, coming to class, having university parties and all of that. So COVID for me is a blessing. I get to spend more time with my children. I get to give of myself more to other people. I'm involved with the first year experience program with Umamzo. So studying online for me, I am not complaining. As long as you can manage your time, that for me is the biggest.
Talking about Mamzo, but I want to go to the first year now to hear about the first year experience. How have you found that?
Everything, like all they do for us, it is just so amazing. They assist us with whatever we need, if it's with school, with modules, whatever, emotional support, whatever we need, we can go to Mamza with it, and she's just the best.
Oh, wow. And you as a student assistant helping Mamzo, can you just, tell us about the experiences that you've had, highlights, for example, not just positives, but things that you can highlight about the kind of difference that the program has to offer?
The program is set in such a way that it does not necessarily compete or belittle what happens in the lecture room, but is a component of support. We found that our core, the core of the first year experience program is to be able to break down whatever is taught in the lecture room in the mother language of students, which we found to be the biggest barrier to even comprehending content, to even answering questions on an assignment or a test paper. So highlights have been being able to help a student say, because you explained it to me in isiXhosa, I now know what you're talking about. I can answer it. I don't feel as though I do not have the knowledge to attack this.
If someone is watching you and really would like to go to university or further their studies, wherever they want to further their studies, what message would you give to them?
You are valid. You are valid. Knock on doors. It doesn't matter how many of those doors are closed. Continue knocking. The opportunities are there. And I hope that this particular message and the initiative that we're doing now inspires students, especially coming from the Eastern Cape or just generally in the country, to find that, to actually know that there is such a place as the Nelson Mandela University. And you know, like, okay, well, as someone who's worked, you know, you'll ask people, how is it there? Like, do you enjoy it? And everyone has something positive to say. Sometimes you're always skeptical that, why are you all this nice? You know, is it really that nice? I can honestly say that everyone that has said anything nice about this university means it. It's not a matter of wanting to seem a certain way or sound a certain way. We are being real with what is happening.
Lauren, you, a final word for someone who's listening and watching?
Your dreams and your strong beliefs, hold on to that. That is what will get you where you want to be in life one day. And if teaching is where you want to be, NMU is the place to go.
First, let's start with you. What's your name and where are you from?
I am Samkelisewe Pepe. I'm from PE. I'm born and bred. I went to high school, primary high school, and now I am at Nelson Mandela University.
Mwesa Amahle. I'm from Bizana. I'm doing the Bachelor of Education in IP phase.
Oh, my name is Francisca Sienakang and Gisokepa at Queenstown. I'm studying IP education and I'm diverse, very big on diverse. So yeah, NMU is definitely the choice.
All right. Okay, thanks for that introduction. You say you are a phase specialist. What does that mean?
That means, Doc, there is no specific subject I will teach. Like, I can teach all subjects in the intermediate phase.
Okay. And what subjects would that be?
So we can teach natural science, we can teach English, we can teach all the subjects that are provided in the primary school. So maths, that would be English, or depending on the language, obviously, that you speak, we can teach you Xhosa, geography, all the subjects that are available.
Yeah. And are there any other subjects like EMS?
Yes.
That you can teach? So, Francisca, what do you enjoy mostly about the modules that you are doing in the faculty?
I love how you can be diverse and you can change your personality with each module, each subject, and you can actually communicate through that. It's amazing.
So, second and third year, you've been to schools.
Yes.
How has that experience been?
Okay. So we started with student-based learning this year as the second years, and the first, if I can say, section of it was in even before school started at NMU. Then we attended for 2 full weeks, 15 consecutive days. It was a beautiful experience. I'm not even going to lie. It's one thing to be in a classroom, I mean, behind a PC learning or hearing the lecturer, but then, and them telling you what you will obviously need to do. But then when you actually put it into action and you see the kids and you are there, first-hand experience, it's out of this world. I enjoy it a lot.
I just want to come to you, Francisca. You are a first year, and I want to know about the transition from high school to university. How has the faculty really helped you, to make that transition?
It feels at home. Honestly, I feel like I can be myself. It's better than high school. And this faculty, it just makes you feel like this is the perfect choice for you, especially with Mamzo.
Especially with Mamzo. Tell me a little bit about Mamzo and the kind of support, that she's giving to the first years.
She's the mother away from home. She's just always there, even if you need any kind of advice. And she's a support structure. Like, she relates with you personally, and she's just amazing. A mom.
All right. Let me just hear about the funding that you've received. Are you self-funded? Are you a Funza Lushaka student, NSFAS? What kind of financial support did you get for you to be able to study?
Okay, so with me, I was fortunate enough to actually be a Funza Lushaka recipient. So last year and this year as well, I'm very grateful for that because education in general is very expensive. So that's my funding.
Okay, and then with Funza, what kind of support do you have in terms of finance? What do they pay for?
They pay for full academic tuition, they pay for housing, we get an allowance every month. And we communicate a lot with Mrs. Khaswint. Because when you're waiting for funding, especially with Funza Lushaka, it comes in later in the year. So there's so many questions and, things that we need to find out about, and she's always willing to assist us with that.
All right. Is there anything that you'd like to advise? And I want to go back to you from Bizana. Someone might be watching. What is it that you would say to that learner who's in high school, planning to come to university?
I do communicate with the learners in high school, even now. First of all, during the lockdown, we collected as a student teachers, we collected the student who was around our place and pushing the curriculum while the teachers were not able to go face to face with the learners, and advising them to apply to the university and also with the funding, because we don't feel good when we see the person who's struggling with the funding while the school is accepted that particular person. So we advise them to apply and to choose the choice that they are comfortable to. But we also tell about education,
Yes.
and then give them the choice to choose whether education is good to them or not. Yes,
No,
so.
thanks for that. And Francisca, what would you say to someone coming in, sitting at home, wanting to come into university?
It is the best option that you can make. It's not only for personal development or educational development, it's the whole journey. I'd suggest that you come to university, you explore your options, you find out, what do I want to do? What is my purpose? And fall in love with something that's you.
Thank you. And you, your final word of advice?
Okay, so I'm going to speak with regards to education. And I remember last year we were taught that we need to be agents of change. So being an agent of change isn't only within the limitations of, the school. You are an agent of change in your community, you are an agent of change in your workplace, wherever there are people you can assist, And with the education department, some or other way, they teach us to be people, to have ubuntu, to be accommodating of others, So yeah, that's my final word.
Oh, thank you so much for your time. I have goosebumps. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, Doc, my name is Thokozile Langman, and I am a second-year student now, and I am an NME student, of course.
Okay, second-year student doing what?
I study B.Ed, so I'm doing a Bachelor in Education, and I major in languages, English and Afrikaans.
What phase?
And I'm in SPFET phase.
All right, okay. Pleased to meet you, Toko. And you, sir?
My name is Kirsten Dennis. I am doing SPFET as well, second year as well, majoring in science, mathematics and physics. Oh, wow. And natural science, let's not forget that.
Oh, okay, because that's the SP one. And you, ma'am?
Thank you very much, Doc. My name is Zizo Chikijela. I'm a third-year student in SP and FET phase. I'm majoring in languages, Xhosa and English.
I just want to understand, how did you learn about Nelson Mandela University Faculty of Education?
Of course, when you're about to embark on the journey, you have to do a lot of searching on the internet. I think because I'm from a town close by, I already knew of Nelson Mandela University. And I've also had family who've studied here, so yeah, so.
All right, and you, Kirsten?
I guess I followed friends.
Oh, wow, okay.
But I've only heard good things of the university, regular visits from the university to our school. We had a teacher that was involved in athletics at the university. Okay. So we visited here most Saturday mornings, partook in that event, and then it was natural gravitation to come here. I felt at home.
All right, great. I'm happy. I'm happy to hear that. Zizo?
Back then in high school, Doctor, we used to have senior students that would visit in our schools, and then they would tell us more about the university life. As you know that we have been in the rural area, so we haven't been exposed much in university. So they have gave us more information about the university, of which I was very interested to apply also. then I followed the rules.
Oh, wow, great. And now you say, as I know where you're from. I want to know where you're from. Tell others where you're from.
I am from Qumbu. My hometown is in Qumbu.
All right. Now tell me what made you decide to become a teacher? Because yes, you can know that there's a university, there's a lot of qualifications that you could have chosen, but you've chosen education and to become a teacher.
Funny enough, my whole family is in education. My younger brother, my mother, and my late father. So naturally, I somehow ended up here now doing education, and it fits like a glove.
Don't tell my father I said this. But my father's a teacher, so I gravitated towards teaching. But I've just always loved helping. And the natural progression was to become a teacher. You're changing lives on the grassroots, and it has an impact for the rest of a student's life. So that's why teaching. It chose me.
Oh, wow.
The reason why I chose education, just like Kay said, is that I've been very passionate with working with other people. And I made sure that if I have met a particular person, I make sure that I leave a mark, that I make a difference into their lives. And I remember this time back in high school, you used to have these small groups whereby we used to discuss and help one another. And then I would be the one that would be keen to help other students to discuss other topics whenever, like sort of extra classes. And then the more I did this, I realized that, no, this is what I actually want to do, and I'm enjoying that everyone would come and ask like questions after, and then it would be clear. And then like, no, I'm getting teaching.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful. And now that you are in the faculty, and I'm glad that you are senior students, so at least you've got some experience about, you know, the programs that we are offering. What would you say has been your experience, you know, with the Faculty of Education and the support that we're offering?
I think this is probably my favorite question, because when you become part of the Nelson Mandela University family, especially in the education faculty, everything makes complete sense. We have slogans here which are followed to the T. For example, humanizing pedagogy is probably, it's now DNA. Oh, wow. It's so natural now. And it's our lecturers show it with the way they treat us, the way the content is produced or relate to us. And even when trouble does come, because it's not easy, but when problems do come along, we know that we're dealing with humans who know they're dealing with humans. And also, my other favorite is that we're agents of change. And we learn that from first year, and it goes all the way through. And it just makes, I don't know, it makes life here so natural. Yeah.
I'm so glad to be listening to you, hearing you talking about our philosophy of education, which is a humanizing pedagogy, as well as our mission, because our mission is to prepare you to become agents of hope, change, and social justice. So, Kirsten?
I think for me it's more that the university's got this thing where they say they leave no student behind. And I think that the Faculty of Education just epitomizes that to its best extent. Because there's always programs to help, there's always, you know, avenues, but numbers you can dial, someone you can speak to get help.
Look, I have received a lot of support here in the university, more especially, because when I first entered here in the university, I had this opinion like, you are on your own, so do that. And then when I entered here into the faculty and then into the lecture halls, and I found that no, the lecturers were very accommodative and they were very caring of us. They understood that we are first years. We have never been exposed in this kind of situations. And then they were so cool to such a point that you were being in a comfortable space to learn and not be afraid that, okay, you're no longer in a high school, you're in the university. Same applies in here in the research center when we got here, and then we got so much support and so much help from MAMSO and other students that were here. Yeah, I felt home, and till now we're helping one another.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that. So you say that you are studying towards a PG Ed in leadership. Yes. How did you get to know about, you know, that particular program, and how did you get to decide that you want to do that? Because we offer a range of qualifications for postgraduate studies.
Correct. So initially, I wanted to do a postgraduate. I wanted to do my honors in educational psychology.
Yes.
But due to the numbers, I didn't make it. And then I was informed of the postgraduate diploma in education and leadership and management.
Yes.
Currently, where I'm working, I'm the subject head. So when I heard of this, I was like, this would be of assistance to me, seeing that I am currently in a leadership role or position.
And with you, Taryn, PGCE?
Well, initially, I always wanted to become a psychologist. Still going in that route, don't worry. And I completed the SIT TESOL course at NMU in 2018. Worked for 3.5 years as an online English facilitator, but always felt stagnant in my job. So this is the next step for me in helping learners reach their goals and their potential.
How are your studies funded?
Well, initially out of my own pocket too, but after paying, I actually received the PGC Scholarship Award.
Oh, you received. How does that work?
Well, you get a total amount of 35,000 Rand, which covers your entire tuition fees. Unfortunately, no book costs or anything like that, but it does cover the majority of things. I basically had to pay just my enrollment fee.
All right. And Aviwa, with your hectic schedule that I'm assuming you're having to manage in a school and later on attending classes, how are you finding that balance?
So I'm so used to contact learning. However, when I think of the petrol costs, having to drive from Newton Park to Missionville campus, I'm grateful that we're currently online. Now I can get home, settle down, and find my feet and do what I need to do. I need to manage my time. I think even when I was doing the PGCE, I had to make sure that I manage my time in the sense that friends aside, family, make dates. Guys, I don't expect people to just come over and see me. I am very busy. So you have to just ask yourself, what is it that I want? Why am I doing this? And then once you can answer those questions, it becomes a bit easier.
And I was going to ask you, what advice do you have? Because you are postgraduate students, it means that you've done your undergraduate qualification, you've had experience, the good and the bad. And for someone who's sitting at home wanting to do education, what would your advice be? Or any kind of qualification, what would your advice be to that?
So I always tell my learners to find your why. I think that is very important because you can be advised to do something, but if that is not what you want, so find your why. Why do you want to do it? If you're already doing it, why are you doing it? Is this going to be fulfilling for you in the next 5 years? Is this going to be something that you're going to be eager to wake up to each and every day? Because in each and every work environment, there are challenges.
Find your why. Taryn?
Well, I would say that they should find what they are passionate about. So yeah, I would say follow your heart, find what you are passionate about and do that, because like she mentioned, you have to find something that you are happy to go to, because you don't want to go to a place where you're coming home miserable every day. So find what you're passionate about.
Thank you. Find your passion. Hi, I'm sitting this afternoon with Nozuko Khai, who's our resource center coordinator. Nozuko, can you briefly tell us about the kind of work you do in the resource center?
Oh, okay. At the resource center, because you can see we are here, this is the resource center space.
Yes.
At the resource center, we cater for our education students across all programs. And we only have a resource center in the Faculty of Education. The resource center caters only for education students, as I said. It's a beautiful educational workspace that offers and provides, our future educators with teaching materials. We have teaching aids, can be videos, chats, posters to make the lesson more interesting. When the lesson is more interesting, it means that our students can remember what they've learned. They can understand it. they can apply it in their minds, they can analyze and evaluate it, and it makes them creative.
All right. Now, Nozuko, we know that you are not just wearing one cap. We know that you have another responsibility in the faculty that I know you're very passionate about. Can you just tell us a little bit about that responsibility?
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really passionate about that. I also coordinate a first-year experience program. This program actually complements other programs that we have in the university that are generic. But for us, we are bringing the support to the students near in our Faculty of Education when they transition from the high school to this university, or I can say high learning institution. So for us, it is because you came about actually with it, because you experienced, hardships and difficulties as well, like myself. And because I did, now I understand exactly the traumas that our students can experience, especially for the first few weeks when they start their learning career. So what we do is I start from their orientation, when we orientate them, because we realize that they have, when we deal with them, they are coming from disadvantaged schools. When I say disadvantaged school, it means that they are not ready or prepared enough to actually, comply with the expectations of the university. So some are not computer literate. And because of that, and especially at this time of the online learning, so we need to be there to understand their difficulties and hold their hands and solve them. We don't just listen, but we make sure that we bring solutions. And when I say we, it means that our senior student assistants, I'm so proud of them because they are so passionate, like myself. They listen to the students. They tutor, they cater everything, be it academically or socially. If it's psychological, we are not professionals, but we actually relate it to the professionals so that they can assist where they can.
Good day. I am sitting here excited with the alumni of the Faculty of Education. I'm talking about people who are qualified already. Can you please introduce yourselves? Let's start with you.
My name is Lucanio. My surname is Budichello. I graduated in 2018. I did my honors and I'm currently doing my master's with the faculty. Yeah, I'm teaching at Marymount High School. I teach maths and life sciences.
All right. Welcome, Lucanio.
My name is Tato Musheshwe. I'm still yet to graduate, so I'm super excited for the coming month, the next phase of graduations. I major in accounting and economics. I'm very passionate about education. I'm still waiting to be employed, and fully get into the field and actually do the work.
All right. Welcome, Tato.
Thank you.
My name is Boyile Nondwai. I'm from Alice. I graduated 2021 with advanced diploma in TVET teaching, and I'm now currently lecturing in Escape Midlands College at School of Engineering.
Tato, let's go back to you. You're saying you are anxious and excited about graduation. What is going on in your mind now, just about to qualify?
I think it's me just being expectant of what is it to come next, the next chapter of my life, and hopefully getting a chance to bridge all the content, together with real life experiences. I've worked so hard, to get to this field. I did not complete my degree in the required 4 years. It took longer, 5 years, but it's longer than what it should be, but through that there's been experiences that have groomed me to be this person that I am today.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Tato. And Lucanio, can you tell us a little bit about your experience as a student when you were first doing your undergraduate studies, not your honors, but your undergraduate studies?
When I first got here, one of the things that was being punted was the humanizing pedagogy. And one of the things that really the lecturers and the people that taught in this particular university, but more specifically within the faculty, is that they drove that thing of humanity, you know, of lecturers being human before they are lecturers. So that was the first difference. And so some of that right now, we are using that in the classrooms in which we teach in a sense that we now are, we always take a step back and allow our learners to actually have their own say, because even they are not empty vessels, but they come from communities where they know something. And that all forms part of the process and the learning process that we find inside classroom.
Buyile, let's come to you, TVET. We're so proud of TVET in this faculty, and there has not been formal training of TVET lecturers in the country, and we are one of the few who are really offering this. What has your experience been, you know?
In the TVET sector, there were no training on a teaching side. Remember, most were just people who from the industry, right? And then we took and just explained to students what they need to do. And there was no Ubuntu, because it's a matter of like, this is like, okay guys, you know that you need to pass, and if you fail, you failed. You know, those kind of things that normally happens. And by the time they were showing us the Ubuntu, they were specifically telling us that humanizing pedagogy is one of our theme, is actually our main theme. So when we got the training of teaching, everything changed. I guess creating the TVET teaching was one of the best ideas whoever came up with that one.
But Tato, you've done teaching practice, what we call school-based learning, and you have been exposed to different contexts. What have you learned from, you know, changing from one context to the next?
Sure. You know, if there's one thing that I appreciate about the faculty is the strong emphasis or the so much energy that it puts on in-service teacher training. Because I think it is only through that when I was able to decide if whether do I really want to do this, you know, and reading everything that you see in the study guide, and now you have to see it practical. And sometimes you look at the theory and you look at the situation and you're like, hi. You know, it's very difficult to sort of immediately merge the two. I think it comes with experience. I've had the opportunity to be in private schools, to be in a public school as well, and I've seen how fortunate some schools are with resources, and how some schools have to do with how some schools have to do what they have to do with the little means that they have, and how do you also try to make sure that the best results come out of whatever type of school that you are in, using the little resources that you have. So I think for me, the experience has groomed me not only to think outside the box.
All right, no thanks. Lucanio, let's come to you. And the question here is, do you think we have prepared you enough for you to be able to teach in school?
Madam Dean, I don't think that universities can ever do enough to prepare people for the real context situations that we find in schools. One of the things that I've realized is doing SBL, school-based learning, is very different to being in a classroom and you being in charge of that particular classroom and you being in the lead in that particular classroom. When you are doing your SBL, there are times where you have to sit at the back and you watch the teacher and you are doing observations, and then you just get a period here to do one lesson here, one lesson there. However, it is different when you have to do it each and every day, day in and day out, where you need to bring your A game day in and day out, so that learners at the end of the day are able to understand what you are saying. You know, it's the passion, it's the drive, you know, it's knowing that this is, I think this is what I was, you know, I was born for. This is just something that I need to do, yeah.
Well, thanks for that. Going back to TVET, because people do not think that people in TVET need to be trained to become specialists, you know, of teaching and learning in their own spaces. What has it meant for you, you know, coming back? You were already working, And you were saying that you were just teaching, content and, you pass, you fail. But what has it meant to you getting this qualification?
Well, by the time we were actually learning before we get qualified of the qualifications, the times when you get to class, you feel like, you know what, today let me just rather forget about my old self. Let me just try to apply what it has been said in class, in a classroom during that time. And when you just get to it, you find that no man, there is a huge difference from what I was before and what I have done today. Because I remember with my colleagues that were doing the same course, we would, after class, when we're free, call others. We're like, guys, we learned this in Missionville today. And I tried to apply this in my class, and the positive that the feedback which I received from my student, it was way, way better than yesterday. So I should say the experience, for me, I'm just grateful for that experience.
But thanks so much for your time and the experience that you've shared with us today. Thank you.
And now that you've listened to all our students, we hope that this has reignited that sparkle for you to follow your lifelong dream. Apply now at www.mandela.ac.za and be the teacher that you've always wanted to be.